Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a brand new fragrance release coming from the house of YSL. As you can see by the title, we have yet another flanker to the YSL Black Opium range. I know that there's like a million, and to be honest, I haven't really kept up with all the flankers. The only flanker that I've tried, other than the original Black Opium, obviously, is Black Opium Le Parfum. And the reason why I am now interested in this flanker is because after trying Black Opium Le Parfum, that ended up being one of my favorite perfumes that I've probably ever tried in my entire life. It had 4 different types of vanillas in it, the most intoxicating, woody, sexy vanilla, but still keeping a little touch of the OG Black Opium, like that coffee, sweet, sexy vibe. So after falling in love with that perfume, when I saw this brand new flanker, I knew I had to at least test it out, and I smelled it at the store. And it was kind of a love at first sniff at the store, but I do have some thoughts on it, which we're gonna get into. This is called Black Opium Over Red, and I'm obsessed with the packaging, just like the red touches. Red is my favorite color, like my shirt today. And even the bottle has, it's like a dark red. When the light really hits it, you can see. Everything about it is giving sexy red vibes. So if you want to hear my thoughts on this and get into the notes and everything, then just keep watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn post notifications on, and let's get started. Okay, I lowered my camera a little bit because I felt like it was too high up, so hopefully this is a better angle. So one of the biggest reasons why this has this whole red vibe is because this has an added cherry note, which I don't think we've seen in any of the other Black Opiums. So that's something unique that this fragrance is bringing forward. If you're somebody that doesn't love cherry notes, I'm not sure how you would like this, but I personally love cherry notes, and I'm still in the search for like the perfect cherry fragrance. I do have a couple of them in my collection. I'm somebody that loves the licoricey kind of note in perfumes. I know that's another thing that not everybody loves, but I just find it so sexy, so intoxicating. It's just like this rich sweetness that it gives perfumes. I love it, and to me a lot of cherry notes kind of translate into like licoricey notes, and that was kind of what I was hoping for this one. Or if anything, I was just hoping that cherry to actually be present, because a lot of the times what you'll find in perfumes, you'll get this perfume that looks like it has cherry even in the notes, and then you spray it and you might smell it for like 0.2 seconds in the opening, and after like 5 minutes after it's dried down, you can't smell cherry at all. And I feel like that's been like a repetitive thing in a lot of cherry perfumes. It's like they say they have cherry, but where's the cherry? So if anything, I was hoping that this would be an actual cherry perfume where that cherry wasn't short-lived. Black Opium Over Red has top notes of cherry, green mandarin, middle notes of orange blossom, jasmine, and black tea, and base notes of Madagascar vanilla, coffee, and Indonesian patchouli. Lots of really great notes, some that are reminiscent of OG Black Opium, like the coffee, so you're still getting the coffee in here. So if maybe the coffee note was something that you didn't like in the OG Black Opium, not sure how you would love this, because I definitely can't smell that coffee. I will say it's tame, and it's so much more sweet than that coffee. It's not like bitter or anything like that. If anything, I feel like it adds more sexiness to this fragrance. Love the fact that we have Madagascar vanilla in this. That's why I was excited about this one after loving the last flanker of Black Opium, which was the Le Parfum, because that one had Madagascar vanilla and tons of other notes. So I love that we have that here. But of course, I feel like the most exciting note in this flanker is that cherry, because it's something that we haven't seen in any of the other Black Opiums. So let's spray this out. I will say, if you're into cherry, you'll probably really love this because it is very much there. But I will say something, like a bit of a disclaimer. When this first opens up, and when I say that, I mean literally when it first opens up, it's very short-lived, but I just have to mention it. It gives me a little bit of that cherry cough medicine kind of vibe. Just a little bit, okay? And it's really, really short-lived. Just when you first spray it out, it has that like cough syrup kind of smell to it. Now, after literally like 10 seconds, I don't really smell it. Like, I'm smelling my wrist now, I don't smell any of that cough medicine. So if anything, you really just smell it for just a few seconds and then it's done. But I have to mention it just in case you really hate that scent. it is a little bit there, but not always. I have the OG Black Opium right here, and I'm gonna spray this on my other wrist just so we can kind of compare the two. Because let me just say, I don't know about all the other Black Opium flankers because I haven't really tried them all other than the Le Parfum version. But I found that the Le Parfum kind of stood on its own as a completely separate fragrance from Black Opium. Sure, it had maybe like 5% of the OG DNA in it, but it was like almost a completely different perfume because of all those rich vanillas and the woodiness. I just felt like it brought something new to the table. This one, I have to mention, does smell like a good amount of the OG Black Opium. Like smelling them side by side, and especially once they've both dried down, in the dry down especially, they are, I would say, like 95% similar. So if anything, that's the only letdown of this perfume. That extra 5% that is not similar to the OG Black Opium is just that added cherry note. But I will say, I find that it is a little short-lived in this as well. Like it is there slightly, but because it has so much of the OG Black Opium DNA in it, I feel like that kind of overtakes the cherry, if that makes sense. And sure, it is like a little bit of a difference, but it's just not enough to where I feel like this is a completely separate perfume. Now, of course, you're gonna be like, well, it's a flanker, so obviously it's gonna have DNA of the OG in it. And if that's something that you love, and you love the OG and you just are looking for something maybe with the same scent but just slightly different, then this is great. But if you're somebody like me, where even in flankers you're looking for, yeah, sure, I want to smell a little bit of that OG, but I don't want to feel like I'm paying money for the same scent, just 1% different, that's where this one kind of makes me question how much I love it. Because scent wise, if I'm smelling it not related to anything and I'm not relating it to the OG Black Opium or anything, scent wise, I would give this like a 9 out of 10. I really, really like it, especially that cherry note. It just adds an extra level of sweetness. It's so good. But I have to compare it to the OG Black Opium because at the end of the day, it is a flanker and it is so similar to where I'm like, did I really need this? I really loved it at the store when I smell it, and that's why I got a 1 fluid ounce of it. I was kind of going back and forth. I'm like, should I just get a travel size? Like, do I really need a fuller size bottle? Even though this is not the full size, obviously it's just a little 1 fluid ounce. But I was even contemplating between this and a travel, and as I was smelling it at the store and it dried down, I was like, no, this is so good. But then I came home and I kind of smelled them side by side to the OG, and I'm just like, okay, it smells really good, but it's not that different. Honestly, I feel like this is a really easy fragrance to recreate. If you already have the OG Black Opium, literally just layer it with any perfume that has a cherry note and you get Black Opium over red. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a must. I recommend the scent on its own. If you don't have the OG Black Opium in your collection and you want something like it but maybe a little bit different and you love cherry notes, then I feel like, yeah, this is great. It's sexy, the cherry is there, it's super sweet, it's delicious, it has that coffee vibe, it has vanilla. If you're one of those people that hated the OG Black Opium, then I don't recommend this one. I don't think you would like it considering it has so much of a similarity to the OG. So yeah, bottom line, do I think this is nice? Yes. Scent wise, on its own, I give it a 9 out of 10. But when comparing it to the OG, I definitely don't think that I needed even a 1 fluid ounce of this. So for me, I don't know. I feel like I was so misled by what I smelled at the store because it smelled so good and I was this close to just buying the travel size. Then as I'm walking around the store, I kept smelling it on my wrist. I'm like, no, I need a bigger size. This is so good. And then once I got home and I'm like, wait, but it smells so similar to OG Black Opium though. Like, if you actually have them side by side, there just is not a significant difference to where I would justify owning both, especially because this is not a cheap fragrance, okay? Even the little 1 fluid ounce was, I think, like $95, like $100 with tax. One more thing, because I know I always skip over longevity and I know that's really important for you guys. The longevity for this one, for me, is not as good as the Le Parfum, and it's also not as good as the OG. I found the Le Parfum lasted on me forever and ever. It's super strong. This one starts off pretty strong, so you kind of assume that it's gonna be long lasting. But to be honest, it actually wears off pretty quickly. Like, I got about 3 to 4 hours of wear out of this. After that, I could barely smell it on me. So that's another bummer of this fragrance, at least on my chemistry and what it does on me. But let me know if it's lasting more on you guys or less. Let me know. I was so excited because of how well the Le Parfum version went for me, and I loved it so much to the point where I actually regret getting a 1 fluid size of that one. I should have gotten the full like 3.4 bottle because that fragrance will stay in my collection forever and ever and ever. I love it. And I was just kind of thinking, oh, what if this is also like that? I'm gonna need a bigger size. So that's why I went with this instead of the travel, but now I regret it. At the end of the day, I honestly have mixed feelings with this because I'm like, I do like it. I really, really like it. I love the cherry and I can smell that a good amount in here. It smells like a cherry popsicle, but then just the huge amount of the OG Black Opium DNA that's in this kind of throws me off, because then I'm like, well, I already have the OG Black Opium though. I can just layer that with the cherry perfume and boom, I have this. I didn't need to go and spend $100. Like, I thought this was gonna be way different to what it is, and that's the only thing that has me kind of questioning, not if I like it, because I do like the scent, but it has me questioning whether I really needed this one, and I am thinking about returning this. But I have to be honest, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought of this if you've tried the new Black Opium over Red. I read a couple reviews and I know some people have said that it smells like cough syrup, which I mentioned, so you have that info. You can smell it for yourself and be your own judge of that. But still, let me know all your thoughts and opinions on this new flanker. Do you think it's worth having it in your collection if you already have the OG? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. But that is it for me today. I hope you guys liked this review. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!